Hello my people, FinerBub here. Thanks for checking out the video. Today we're talking about hiking the Mount Sanitas Loop, a short sub-4 mile half-day hike near Boulder, Colorado, which offers great views of the town and the surrounding area. Throughout the video, I'll cover the key details that I think you need to know if you plan to hike this loop yourself, and towards the end, I'll share some of my personal thoughts on the hike and who I think it's best suited for. But before we get into that, just a little tidbit for those of you who don't know. On this channel, I'm all about sharing my thoughts and experience on the best spots to check out and the best gear to bring with. So if, like me, you'd like to spend more time outside appreciating the finer things in life, do yourself a favor and consider subscribing. Also, feel free to check out the description below for links to any of the gear or hiking information resources I mention. Alrighty then, without further ado, let us begin.
I want to say mountains again! Mountains! FinerBub.
So, this past weekend, I finally got out for my first hike since moving to Colorado. The more dedicated viewers of this channel will also know that this was my first hike since injuring my back last fall. So needless to say, I was a bit apprehensive about how it was all going to go. First hike since moving to Colorado. Let's see how the back fares. Given that this was going to be my first time carrying a pack in a while, I wanted to find a short, easy hike that was close to town just in case my back started bothering me and I was forced to bail in the middle of the hike. The Mount Sanitas Loop starts at the Mount Sanitas Trailhead on Sunshine Canyon Drive in Boulder, Colorado. From the trailhead, you have two options. You can take a left, following the Mount Sanitas Trail for about a mile until you reach the peak before descending down the East Ridge Trail and looping back to the road via the Sanitas Valley Trail. Or you can hike a counterclockwise loop like we did, starting from the Sanitas Valley Trail before ascending to the peak via the East Ridge Trail and gradually descending back to the road via the Mount Sanitas Trail. Once we arrived, we scoped out the map and determined that hiking the loop counterclockwise would minimize the potential impact to my back, since we'd be hitting the steepest section of the hike along the East Ridge Trail during our ascent before hiking down the more gradual slope on the Mount Sanitas Trail. As soon as I got a drone, all the no drone laws started going out. So we just keep going straight, eh?
Yeah.
This is actually the first hike I'm filming on this GoPro. Whew, hot and sweaty. Hot and sweaty. Definitely need a lot of water. A lot of water. I don't know if I really needed the Asolo boots for this hike. Probably could have gotten away with trail runners. But yeah, I don't know. Just an extra precaution since I'm unfamiliar with the area. But the feet are warm. That is no lie. We started this hike at around noon on a dry, hot August day, which is not exactly advisable. The hike is pretty short, so we managed okay, but I typically prefer to start hikes like this one early in the morning when it's still nice and cool outside. Although it does get the most sun exposure, the Sanitas Valley Trail is essentially just a gravel path with a very mild incline. Feeling good?
Yeah.
It's warm.
You getting some good footage?
Hope so. First time using the camera, so we'll see how it comes out. But the resolution is higher on this one. It's funny, you know, every iteration they come out with higher quality video capabilities, but with that comes more gigabytes of footage. Had a bit of a view. Now we're turning uphill. So we started here and now we're up here. Then we got this steep zigzaggy switchback section to the peak and then a nice smooth descent.
That must be green peak over there.
Oh yeah, so that was the one that we were going to do.
That's the one that Josh suggested, yeah.
But it was really crowded. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know that I don't like people. Except for you, my people. So We're going up here, zigzagging around. It's getting a little more rocky. Still don't think you need the boots, but we'll see. We'll see. Seen a lot of people in sneakers though. Much better idea to start this hike early in the morning when it's cool. It is hot out right now. Real hot. I carried 3 liters of water on this hike, which felt like a lot to start with, but it was pretty much all gone by the time we finished. So, if you're new to Colorado like me, bringing extra water definitely won't hurt. In addition to the hot, dry summer weather, the altitude is arguably even more of a dehydrator, so bringing plenty of water is definitely advisable. Nice view. We've gained 586 feet of elevation. So now we're on the East Ridge Trail. So we came up there and then we zigzagged there and there up to here. And now we're going that way. I still think you could do this in sneakers. Hiking for 47 minutes. Gone 1.5 miles. Still going up. Still going up. So we just passed the guy who said we're about halfway. Been hiking for almost an hour. The East Ridge Trail easily had the roughest and steepest terrain out of the 3, but if you've ever hiked in New Hampshire, it's hardly likely to turn you around. Gotta keep drinking. Gotta keep drinking.
Go a little further so I'm not blocking this next group.
This was drawn 10,000 years ago. We just hit our 2-mile marker. It's been 82 minutes and we've gained just over 1,000 feet of elevation. A couple more switchbacks till we get to the peak. It's a hot day. It's a hot day. I'm gonna change my shirt at the top. It's gonna be great. Here we go that way. Is this the top? Can we find the top? No, Apple Watch, I'm not done with my workout. Okay, doesn't look like we can go any higher from here. We must document this plaque for the YouTubes. Top. Sweet. So that was an hour and a half to the top. 2.16 miles. I'm changing my shirt now. Always bring a change of shirt. Makes all the difference. Oh wow, look at that. Can see it real far. Deep into the Rockies. One day we shall hike there. So begins the descent. So these downhill parts are really where I need to be careful of my back. Got to rotate the hips and engage the core. That's what the physical therapists say. Oh baby. It is a hikey hike. It's a pretty good view. might be a good thumbnail. I forgot to bring my poles, and hopefully my back won't break. I forgot to bring my poles. So, just to my right, we have high voltage lines, native to the area. Naturally occurring, of course. View's better that way. All in all, despite being rated as quote-unquote hard on all trails, we had a pretty easy time hiking this loop. The views are hardly spectacular compared to most of the hikes I've done, but it's a great option for anyone looking for a solid 3-hour workout. And if you live in or around Boulder, this hike is an absolute no-brainer that you can definitely knock out before lunch, even with a late start time. This is fun. Once you get past the initial sweaty phase, you change your shirt. Nice and loosened up. Oh look, that's the trail we started on. We're gonna loop all the way around back to like the other side of here. This is the Deuter ACT Trail Pro 34. Oh, look at these little cacti. The Mount Sanitas Trail was probably the most balanced out of the three, and I can definitely recommend it as a good out and back option for those who want to stay in the shade for more of the hike. So, who is this hike for? Well, I'd say that as long as you bring enough water and maybe a hat for sun protection, it's a really great option for almost anyone. We saw plenty of people of all shapes and sizes, in addition to plenty of dogs who are permitted on these trails as long as they're on a leash. And if you tend to get really sweaty like I do, I'd advise bringing a second shirt to change into at the top, and I definitely benefited from the huge brim on my Tilly Monterey hat. And even though my dad and I both wore our Asolo Fugitive GTX hiking boots, we saw plenty of trail runners and people in regular old sneakers. We definitely saw a lot of people who were not nearly as prepared as we were, but irregardless of their lack of water and proper footwear, they all seemed to be handling the hike just fine. But just so you know, extra water and a hat definitely comes in handy. The most color we've seen this whole trip. Lucky for me, physical therapy has done wonders for my healing process, and even though I still regularly experience pain stemming from my back injury, this hike went off without a hitch, and I now feel motivated to try something a bit more intense. I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder. I think we're almost done. I think we started right around the corner there, went all the way around that way. And now we're here. Oy, oy, oy. When you start taking the lazy steps, that's when the back starts hurting. Gotta hold in the tummy muscles. We are being redirected to the right. Gone this whole hike so far with no ibuprofen. You know, it's amazing how therapeutic the butt warmers in the car are. Yeah, I just leave it on all the time, and it really loosens my back up. It's hot. It's hot. Oh boy. I can see the bottom. It's a big old staircase in between here and there. Alrighty, my people, that concludes today's episode of the FinerBub Show. If you've already hiked the Mount Sanitas Loop, or if you're thinking about checking it out for the first time, or if you have any questions about the hike or suggestions for where I should go next, I'd love to have you comment below, especially if you think your insight can help me disprove something that I think I already know. But before you do, I just want to once again thank you so much for watching. If you're planning your next trip or looking for new gear, don't let the small details stress you out. Remember, life's an adventure, so relax, breathe in the outdoors, and don't forget to appreciate the finer things. See you out there, people. Peace. Well, it looks like we have completed a loop. First. Oh, here comes Carly, babe. She's coming into second place. Close behind FinerBub. Silver medal. How do you feel?
I have to pee.
Just like Forrest Gump. And here comes Daddy bringing up the rear. So exactly 3 hours, exactly 4 miles. How do you feel?
I feel great.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.